Hey everyone, it's Bilar, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about navigating the flooded depths in Act 1 to find Dweller so you can get your skill point quest done. So, the flooded depths can be a frustrating zone to try and read properly if you don't know the method, because there's a lot of offshoot tunnels that are dead ends and it's just a waste of time to go down them. However, flooded depths is a very learnable layout, and there is a general rule of thumb that you can follow to help you navigate in circumstances where you're not really familiar with the particular layout you're in. So, with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about an overview of the flooded depths. So, flooded depths has 4 layouts, and in each of these 4 layouts, essentially, Dweller is going to be in a cardinal direction from the entrance, like almost in a straight line. Of course, the pathing that you're going to have to take to find Dweller will probably result in you not moving in quite a straight line. But if you look at the sort of overall layout of the map, you'll see that the entrance and Dweller are in a relationship to each other where you can roughly draw a straight line in one of the cardinal directions. So we'll look at sort of this. There's 4 layouts, as I mentioned, and I refer to them as West Line, East Line, South Line, and North Line. And essentially, if you're in the West Line layout, Dweller is going to be roughly west from the entrance in the line. Likewise with the East Line, where it'll be roughly east from the entrance in the line. So typically what happens in flooded depths is that the flooded depths is like a very elongated diamond. Here it's a rectangle on this screen, but you'll have little wings here, 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 and here. However, generally you want to try and avoid those wings because that's where all those dead ends are. So we always want to try to move away from the entrance in roughly a single cardinal direction. So how do we know what cardinal direction to move in? Well, the rule of thumb we're going to follow here is that we're going to try moving east first. We're always going to move east first from the entrance. If we can't go east, we're going to try going south. If we can't go south, we're going to try going west. And if we can't go west, we're going to try going north. Now, we can get even more particular and talk about how you identify layouts right away. So, you can identify certain layouts and not have to rely on the general rule of thumb. However, in circumstances where you don't know what layout you're in or you can't otherwise figure out, you should always just use the general rule of thumb there, where you're going to move east first. You can't move east anymore, go south. Can't move south, go west. Can't move west, go up. That, in most circumstances, will get you through the layout relatively well or help you discover areas of the layout that will let you know particularly what layout you're in once you're past like the entrance area. But we want to be able to read from the entrance area if we can at all. So to that end, let's look at a few layouts here. So this is a Northline layout, and it is one of the best layouts to get because this is the only circumstance in which you are legitimately forced up from the entrance room. There is no other way for you to exit this little entrance room besides going up, and what you'll notice is you'll be forced north until you're above the entrance. In all the other layouts, typically you won't be forced like this. You'll be able to move either to the east, south, or west. Here, moving in any of those directions is blocked until you get above the layout again. This is the left variant. What it means by that is that you will move left or west first from the entrance. One thing you'll notice in all Northline layouts is that you, for the most part, in the vast majority of cases, will be able to see content to your north right as you enter the zone. So if you pay attention to that and then you realize that you're getting blocked, you know that Dweller is in roughly a north line. And Dweller is up here where this big area is. So you'll see from the entrance all the way up there, roughly a north line. So we're going to look at the right variation of this layout, where instead of starting and moving to the left, you start and you move to the right. and you'll be able to see this content. You'll be able to see this content from the entrance room, and then you'll know once you're forced north like this that you're going to keep heading north until you find Dweller in roughly a straight northbound line. The next layout we have is what we call the Eastline Layout. And the Eastline Layout, what will happen is that you'll be allowed to exit to the east. And typically, what you'll notice as you're exiting to the east from here is that you'll see content to your northeast above the entrance. This does not always happen, but in the vast majority of cases, it will. So if we see content to the northeast, sort of the entrance here, like so, what's going to end up happening is that I am immediately going to think I'm in the Eastline Layout. And the reason why I'm going to think of that is the only two layouts that have content to the east and north of the entrance are the Northline Layout and the Eastline Layout. But because I can travel east and I'm not forced to go up as the only way I can get out of the entrance area, I know I'm not in the Northline Layout, so I'm going to think that I'm in the Eastline Layout. And from here, I'm just going to try and move in an eastbound direction until I find Dweller. With the Southline Layout, what you'll notice is that you'll be able to travel south from the entrance, but as you're sort of trying to get out of the entrance, you'll notice you won't be able to go east very much at all, and there won't be any content to the northeast. So you'll see this blocking wall here. Once I see that, my first instinct is I'm going to try and navigate down to the south. The reason why I'm going to try and navigate to the south is that in the last layout, which we haven't looked at yet, which is the Westline Layout, essentially you're blocked from going any further east here. In the Southline Layout, even though you can't go super far east, you can move east past like sort of the entrance wall a little bit. In the Westline Layout, you will not be able to do that at all. As you can see, now that we're looking at the Westline Layout, the entrance to the east is blocked pretty much right away, and you can't really go any further east than the initial entrance room. The other defining thing about the Westline Layout is that you really won't be able to move south in any significant manner. You can go like a little bit south, but it'll be like an incremental south as you're traveling southwest. It won't be directly south, and you won't really be able to get significant difference. The thing we want to look for as we navigate the Westline Layout is whether or not we're blocked to the east here, and as we go here, we're going to try moving south at first. Sometimes you won't even be able to exit to the south here. You'll be forced north and then to the west. At that point, you're going to know you're going to be in the west layout no matter what. But generally speaking, what you'll find is you'll be blocked to the east here, and then we won't be able to move further south, but we'll be able to travel pretty freely to the west. In that circumstance, we'll know we're in the Westline Layout. Finally, here is a hard case that illustrates why the rule of thumb is useful. So this is the Eastline Layout. However, there's no content to the northeast here. This happens pretty rarely, but it does happen. However, as we go here, we see that there's no content, so it kind of looks like it could be a Southline Layout, but we see that we get blocked to the south. But when we get blocked to the south, we see that we can travel east. And once we see that we're blocked to the south and we can keep traveling east, but we can't really go south anymore, we know we're going to be in an Eastline Layout. A Southline Layout will always sort of stop allowing you to travel to the east right around this point. So like 3-ish screens away from the entrance, if you're just looking at your minimap, or 3 rooms would be a better way of phrasing it, you won't be able to travel any further east. But if you can keep traveling past that point, you know you're going to be in the Eastline Layout. So, though that is how we look at reading flooded depths from a general overview. But let's do a few concrete examples. So here, I see that there's no content above me already, so I know that I'm probably not going to be in a Northline Layout, but we'll see as this develops. I'm going to head to the south and east. I see here that as I headed east, after I headed south, I cannot go northeast. I don't see content over this way, so I'm thinking that I am in the Southline layout, as I can travel a little bit east from the entrance still, and I'm not completely blocked. If I was completely blocked at this point from traveling east at all, I would know I'd probably be in the west line. So let's navigate south. I want to navigate in roughly a straight line as best I can to find Dweller. And you'll see there's this identifying wall here, which is a cue that most players find or use to find Dweller. But I'm going to use it just to make sure that I'm on the right track, right? So to signal what side of the wall I need to be on, and then I will go and jump the wall here, and then I will go pop Dweller, who's down there. Let's do another run through of the zone and see if we can get a different layout. Hopefully we'll be able to get all four. That'd be nice for illustration purposes, but it may not happen. So here I don't see any content to my north already, so I'm not thinking the Northline layout. I can't see anything to the northeast yet, so I'm not thinking the Eastline layout. We'll see as the zone develops. So as I travel, I see that I can move to the east. I see that I can't really move to the west, so I'm not thinking that this is going to be a west line layout. I don't see content to the northeast, so I think this is going to be another south line. And then to verify that, I'm just going to head south. And then this will be a south line layout. And here, I didn't even need to verify with this long wall, because the only way I can travel this far south in the zone is if I am in the south line layout. All right, I see a little bit of content to the northeast here. It may be nothing, I'm not sure yet, but the fact that I see something is a good indication. I'm going to travel down a little bit and see if I can head east. I'm going to keep doing so, and then this is just like a blocked wall. This, at this point, I can't travel any further east. I'm thinking that this is going to be the west line layout, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to check south first. I see that I'm getting blocked from really going south in the way that I want to, because remember, in the south line layout, it's directly south. Here, I'm being forced to the southwest instead of being allowed to go directly south. So I know that this is going to be the west line layout, so I'm going to try and travel up and to the west to find Dweller. And Dweller should be right here. All right, let's get another one going.
To that just yet.
So I don't see anything to the north of me already. It looks like I can travel a little to the east. I'm going to start by heading south, and then I'm going to try traveling east. I can travel east a fair amount, but I still can't see things to the northeast a lot, so I think I'm in the south line layout again. As I travel to the south, you'll see that that is the case as I find Dweller. I didn't quite go all the way to Dweller there, but I promise you Dweller is there. All right. I see content above me. I see that I'm being blocked and forced up. Now, this is an important part to point out. The west line layout sometimes can start a little bit like this, where you're forced up, but around here, you're allowed to go to the west. If that ever happens, you know you're not in the north line. Remember, the north line forces you back up and around and sort of forces you to go north, and you end up above the entrance by the time you can sort of start traveling in other directions in any significant manner. So I'm just going to head north from here, and then I will find Dweller right there. All right, so we have found all of the layouts so far except for the Eastline layout. Let's see if we can get an Eastline layout, and then we will call it on this video. All right, I see content to my northeast here. I'm going to see if I get blocked and forced towards that way. If I do, it's going to be the north line. If I don't, this will be the Eastline layout. So I can head south here, and I know already with certainty that this is the Eastline layout. So I'm going to travel roughly in the eastern direction. And then here is Dweller. So that is how we find Dweller. Hopefully this video has been helpful, and good luck.